The stock market is slowly beginning to rebound from the coronavirus plunge, but with President Trump now extending national social distancing guidelines to the end of the month, there are concerns about what further impact this will have on the economy and on investments. David Nelson from Nelson Corp Wealth Management joins us by phone with more on what we could expect practicing social distancing this evening there.
It sure is, isn't it? Wish I was there with you, Jim, in the studio, but I got to do my part and fall in line and do the right thing.
We understand. Let's start a little about speaking about the impact these losses can have on investments and what areas have been hit the hardest.
Sure. So clearly the impact as far as of the market so far, we're talking about as a general thumb 30 to 40% that's taken place. I brought along a nice graphic here. I think that'll help illustrate and show people as far as the impact that this can have. And I want to bring people back just quickly to 07, 08, 09. And in 2007, 8, and 09, the market dropped over 50%. So when we look at that, in the chart that I have here, if you drop 50%, you need to make 100% just to get back to where you were. This go around, the Dow, I think it peaked out so far, and who knows if this is done, around 37, 38%. Translation, looking at this chart here, you're going to have to make north of 60% just to get back to where you were. So it's been very significant. As far as the hardest hit, no question about it, anybody traveling and things of that nature, as far as hotels, the boats, the casinos, they've been really roughed up, and the top of the heap has certainly been energy. Energy companies, stocks, what have you, are down north of 80%, many of them even north of 90%, so it's been very significant.
Now, we've heard you speak recently about the different types of bonds and how each are affected in times of stress. Have the Fed's moves made everything better? Do we move any way from here?
Yeah, so the second graphic that I have that I want to illustrate and show folks was, and there's 4 different clips here, so 4 different segments. If folks focus on the top one, and again, you don't need to know all the details of it, but I want people to look at the far right and just look at how significant that line has gone up. That's very similar to what took place in 07, 08, 09 when we had the last crisis. What that basically means is that interest rates as far as for bonds and the ability as far as to liquidate bonds has become almost impossible as far as, and specifically in the top line, we're looking at the U.S. investment-grade corporate bonds. They've really been affected in a big way. Now, the federal government stepped in and they basically flooded the bond market with cash. That's helped out tremendously as far as most of the categories that I have on here. But specifically, if you look at the corporate bond arena, it is freeing up, and certainly this is welcome news as far as for individuals. So far, so good as far as the bond market. Bond market typically leads the stock market. We're not saying by any means this is over. We're saying people should still remain very cautious. Certainly, as we saw in the first graphic, losses are hard to get back, so we don't want people taking a big dive. So be careful in what you're doing, as always, and again, use that common sense part of the brain, and I think that'll help you make good decisions during this period of time.
David Nelson with Nelson Corp Wealth Management. We always appreciate your time. Be safe, and in case you missed any of this discussion, we have that for you on ourquadcities.com.